Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
This is being recorded, everybody. Be on your best behaviors. I'm talking to you, John Parson. So, Michael, do you mind starting the slideshow? Oh, hello. Welcome, leaders. Okay. So we put this slide deck together just to give you some overall information and to give you some more specific information that's come out from the last two webinars that have happened. Has everyone had an opportunity to either participate in the webinars or go back and watch them on the YouTube channel, or no? Just raising the hands. No? Yes? Okay. They're out there. So if you need me to send you the links, I can get the links for you. They're really helpful, not just in content, but there was a lot of questions asked by people that were participating, and it quite possibly could be answering questions that you may have as well. So, so this first slide is just kind of generic information about what it means to be a leader. You're not a chaperone. This is not a vacation, as much as New Orleans is a really fun, cool place to go. We ask that you be in the right headspace when you're there. We're asking for you to be, team players and be as helpful as you can, not just with the youth that you're with, but with the primary leader. There's some groups that have quite a few kids coming, which is wonderful. And as you know, it's all hands on deck in those kinds of situations. So I'm hopeful that all of you received emails from the gathering for the gLearn leadership modules that you need to take before June 15th. Did you all receive? If you can, I don't know, either put something in the message. I just need to confirm that if you all did receive it. If not, I can reach out to the gathering and make sure that you get the email. Some people didn't get it. So from a leadership perspective, adult leader perspective, it's mandatory training. If you don't take the training, you don't get your wristband. If you don't get your wristband, you can't get into any of the venues. So that would be awkward. Okay. We can go to the next slide, please. Just some suggestions on things to bring, like, hopefully you all have like a travel first aid kit. You want to bring games, cards, just things that are easy to transport, especially if you're going to be on a plane. In terms of food, there's different ways to go about it. You can pre-order like breakfast foods if you want to do like an Instacart order or something like that. They're strongly suggesting making reservations for anywhere you go. There's still no guarantees that there will be space depending on how large your group is. So that's something to consider. A huge thing to remember is that 99% of these venues are going to be cashless. So as much as people want to, send a bunch of cash with their kids, it's definitely easier to either use credit cards, debit cards, gift cards, unless you're going to go to Cafe Du Monde, which is cash only. You're going to have an issue if one of your youth goes with cash. They're not going to be able to pay. So that's something to really keep in the front of your mind, because that's going to be an issue when you get there. If you go out to eat, you're not going to be able to split the bill type thing, like normally you would do in a group. So these are just all things to consider. I'd hate for you guys to be there and kind of be caught off guard, or have, one of the adult leaders having to foot the bill for some of the youth if they're not prepared. I know that the ELCA was going to be doing like almost like credit cards for the youth. I'm not sure. It's almost like a federal credit union type thing they were going to do. I don't know any more specifics on that. That hasn't been released to us. Most people are, I'm assuming, just going to send their kids with either gift cards or a preloaded debit card. But I'll have you leave that up to, your conversations with your parents. Just really be mindful of the fact that it's cashless. So, does anybody have any concerns about that?
I have a question too,
Sure.
actually.
Okay.
So, you said we can't split the bill. I mean, I have a group of there's 7, including my other chaperone.
Mhm.
So would that all have to be on one bill? Because if we're gonna split them, okay.
Yeah, I checked with Tammy about that on the last webinar because she said that it's not going to be a situation where you can, a group of 7 or 10 of you can go into a restaurant and say, oh, split everybody's bill. They're not going to do that. Now, sure, go ahead.
Is this something that has changed in New Orleans all the time, or just because we have this large number of kids coming?
So when we were there at the E, there were a couple of restaurants that they weren't real keen on splitting the bill, and that was back in January. They did it for us with a little bit of prompting, but I'm assuming since there's 15,000 additional people coming, that's kind of an overwhelm on the restaurants. So that's what we were told. And I would hate to think otherwise going in there and be disappointed. We might be pleasantly surprised and find a place out of the way that says, oh, sure. But I mean,
So
I can't imagine.
So as far as you know, this is a New Orleans thing that they've gone to. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So when they say split the bill, are they saying, so you can get one bill or you can give each the 7 cards, right? To split the bill between each other. Can they do it like that instead of running each receipt, like each tab? Can they take the card and you limit your people to $25, right? And everybody knows $25 will come off your card.
I can find out a more specific answer to that question. What I was told is that they would not be splitting bills. So that's kind of how I'm interpreting that across the board. Yeah. I know it's kind of a pain. Yeah, I don't know if there's a workaround to that or not. I mean, I guess maybe if you only had 2 or 3 kids, they might do it. But if you've got a larger group, there's no guarantees, and especially if it's a busy restaurant, right? Maybe if you find the place that's out of the way a little bit or something, you might be able to get away with it. I just don't want to give you that information as a certainty. Any other questions on that?
My other question was, do you know how far in advance we should make reservations, or is that just like I should contact the restaurant and figure that out?
I wouldn't make reservations any more than, I would say 2 weeks out is what we were talking about.
Like beginning of July?
Yeah, I guess it depends on where you're thinking of making a reservation. You know what I mean?
Well, even the ones that are less known, like I feel like a lot of people are going to want to go to like the places that like everybody knows of, but even the smaller places, like people are going to see that and be like, oh, and with 15,000 people, I mean, every place is going to be packed. So
exactly. Absolutely.
So
yeah,
it's so safe to say like beginning of July.
Probably. Yeah, I would say the beginning of July to be safe. I wouldn't wait too much later than that if you're concerned about a certain spot that you definitely want to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hoping most places will take reservations. We've been told that that's not guaranteed either, which I think would be ridiculous, but okay. Any other questions? Are we good? Okay. Okay, to answer a couple of the questions for going into like the Smoothie King Center, you can pack like a granola bar or something small like that in your clear backpack. You just can't like put a whole Chick-fil-A meal in, you know what I'm saying? But they did say that we would be allowed to bring in a couple of small snacks for some kids. Because some people were worried about if, you know, they didn't get a chance to eat or whatever, you know, what they would do. So you just, like I said, you can't like have a whole meal stuck in your bag. They also asked to make sure that we plan for tipping too. Sometimes that goes out of your mind, but as we all know, that's New Orleans lives off of hospitality, so they're going to rely on the additional income. So please just be aware of that. So the gathering was supposed to, and they're still working on providing a pretty comprehensive list of restaurants in the area to help. We were supposed to get that at the end of May. So as soon as I get it, I will let you guys all have it. It'll just give you an idea of suggestions of restaurants that we might not be thinking of. This is exciting because this wasn't going to be the case when we were at the Superdome, but the Convention Center and the Smoothie King Center now has water filling stations, which we're very happy about. The Superdome was not going to have that. You are allowed to bring in, you know, they talked about a clear water bottle. They clarified it to say, as long as it's not glass or aluminum, but if you have like a Nalgene water bottle, you can bring those in. So I don't know if that helps people from having to purchase all these, you know, clear water bottles. They're asking for the size to be like 32 ounces or less, because it's pretty heavy when you're carrying around a water bottle. And it's one water bottle per person when you go into the events. So hopefully that alleviates some anxiety and stress for people in terms of, you know, purchasing water bottles that you might not need. Any questions there? Okay. Basic information and suggestions. Make sure your kids are hydrated and yourselves. Like, if anybody has not been to New Orleans in July, it's like walking on the surface of the sun. So, and you're going to be outside, you're going to be doing things. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. We all know when we're not hydrated, what it does to our bodies. So, all of the getting ready materials that are in gLearn, I hope you go through them thoroughly with your youth and parents if you need to. One of the other things is kind of pay attention when you're there about how you can bring all of that experience back to your congregations, because, you know, part of this whole experience is to bring it home and share it, right? To get the next group of kids excited about going. So it's really easy to be in the moment and then kind of lose that momentum and enthusiasm. Just, you know, I'm hopeful that each of your congregations is doing some sort of post-gathering report to congregations and to let them know what a wonderful experience you had. I mean, I'm hopeful, especially if you've done some fundraising and you kind of want to report back on how well everything was. So, any other questions? Okay. Okay, so you all got my emails, and I'm hopeful that you have all the information on the size of the bags that you're allowed to carry, and the smaller bags that carry medications or incidentals that are allowed within the larger bag. If you don't have that information, let me know and I'll send it out to you again. It's been in a few emails and it's been on social media. Hopefully you guys are all following on Facebook so you can stay on top of some of that information as well. I know it sounds a little bit much, but it's the same as if you went to a sporting event or a concert, you'd have to clear bag. So, it's for security and is, it's to get people in the venues faster, right? So we're not standing outside, for 2 hours trying to get in. So, okay. Any questions on that? This is again, a little more of the information on the size of the bags and stuff. Okay, thank you. Okay, a little bit about safety. I'm not going to tell you not to be concerned. It's a large group of people. I will tell you that New Orleans is one of the safest cities. There's a lot of, okay, so the Weather Center, Homeland Security are going in and they're adding cameras on all the streets. So there's going to be a lot of security that we won't even realize is there. However, that's not to say that we don't need to be aware of our surroundings and make sure our kids are, being safe, right? Just like if we took them anywhere else, right? You want them to be safe and diligent. We have found that most of the issues that arise happen during community life, hotel life at the end of the nights. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Your release forms, your medical forms, you want to have something digital on you. So if a youth gets hurt or Melina steps in a hole or something, I love you, Melina, and somebody needs medical attention, you've got that on you. There's going to be paperwork that the gathering is going to collect, but you want to have all that stuff on you. And please make sure that you get rest and you hydrate so that there's not intestinal issues if we can help it. Any questions? Okay. So in your rooms, I strongly suggest that you bring some sort of lock for your luggage. If you're going to store valuables, you can utilize the safe in the room. Sometimes there's an additional fee for using the safe. But I do suggest if medication does not need to be refrigerated and you don't need to carry it with you, I strongly suggest that it gets locked in an adult leader's suitcase. I want to stress that without making it a panic situation. There's a lot going on in New Orleans, and there's just a lot of opportunities. So we want to stay diligent and safe, and especially with medications that, especially if the youth needs it, we don't want to see something happen to it. And it's just better if it's locked in the adult leader's suitcase and not left in the rooms with the kids, if that's possible. Questions? Guys are so quiet.
Does that include over-the-counter medication?
Yeah, to be safe, I would say. It's just easier. Yeah, yeah. So for the bus, for those of you who do not know, there is a charter bus that the gathering has leased that will pick you up from the airport, take you to your hotel. It used to be it had to be a round trip. Now they are also allowing one way. So if you don't need the bus from the airport or however you're getting there, say the train station, but you do need it on your way out, you can do that. It's roughly $50 a person each way. And when you sign up, you tell the bus, where your hotel is, and they will take you directly to your hotel. Or if you're getting there, that day, if you have to go to where registration is, then they'll take you there and drop you off. And if that's the case, there is a secure area for your luggage there. And the bus will still run Sunday night. So there's more than enough time and availability for it.
Lori, just to clarify for folks, I think you said $50 each way, or is it $50 for a round trip?
Oh, sorry, $50 round trip. Thank you,
Okay,
Michael.
so yeah. You're doing great though.
Thanks.
Keep going.
Again, there's also Uber and car services and taxis. There's no way to determine what those prices are going to be. So this is a way to have a very sure way of knowing, okay, this is what it's going to be, as opposed to, an Uber, they could charge you whatever, depending upon how many people, how much luggage you have. So, but this is just another option for you to choose from.
Or do you know what's the last date that we can say we need transportation?
For this bus, are you
Yeah,
talking?
for the bus. To sign up for the bus.
I can, you know what? Let me check, because they didn't say that they were going to close anything. I think it's just more
Okay.
like,
I just went ahead and pulled up the site, and I'll share here in the chat.
yeah, they said they were going to
it-
change it. What date did they have there?
So it says $50 plus a $4 fee. Don't know what that's for either a round trip. It says or one-way shuttle. So I don't know if that means they'll charge you $50 either way. June 1st, $60 plus a $4 fee for either a round trip or one-way shuttle.
Okay, so now they're upping. Okay, because they told us that
June 1.
that date was going to change, but I'll verify and let you know.
Okay. I'll go ahead and put the link to this page in the chat.
Okay.
And Lori, I hope it doesn't mess you up, but can you click on it to make sure this is the right one? Because I know sometimes folks say, hey, we're with the youth gathering, and I'm pretty sure this is right. But sometimes vendors will say, hey, we're with the youth gathering. They're really not. They just say they are.
Oh,
So if you just
yeah,
check me
gotcha.
out there.
By the way, they're really good to work with.
Did you work with them, John?
I booked mine already. Yeah.
Oh, was it simple?
We had some trouble with the website, so I had to call them, and we booked ours over the phone. But they were really good to work with.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank you.
that's right.
All right, cool.
Well, that's good to know, John. Thank you. Okie doke. Oh, that went off the page, didn't it? Okay, so there is a secure lot that the gathering has also leased out, which is not part of any of the hotels or anything. If you want to park your car or your little minibus at your hotel, it could be a lot of money, up to like $175 a day. It's crazy. So thank you for fixing that. So they got a lot, and we were told that it's roughly going to be $25 a day. I've heard two different stories. Where are you going there, buddy? I've heard that it
Sorry to
doesn't
interrupt.
matter
I
whether
was clicking on it because I wanted to see. I tried to go to that site, and it's actually an email link.
right,
Is
you
that
have to
true?
go and sign up. Yeah. Like
So
you
you
send
have to send an email.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, I've heard two different stories. I've heard that it's a flat rate, whether it's your car or like a bus, or and then I've heard that the price fluctuates if it's just like a car to a bus, but it's still not anywhere near what you would pay at some of these hotels. And some of the hotels can't necessarily fit your huge, church buses, right? So I will find out specifically what the price point is, but that's what we were told. It's a really good deal. Like I said, they priced out a lot of the hotels, and they got prices of over $175 to park, which is insane. I'm not, I mean, that's just ridiculous amount of money. So, like I said, I don't know, and this only obviously applies if you're driving. So, I'm not sure how many of you are going to need it, but it's there. Between the convention center and the Smoothie King Center, every day from 4:30 to 6:30, there's going to be a free shuttle that runs basically continuously. So if you're tired and you can't walk another step, or you have any type of mobility issues, there will be a shuttle available. The transportation number at the bottom will be for mobility issues, any transportation concerns, but that number will not be valid or go into effect until closer to the gathering. So don't call it now. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, just to let you know, because there's been a lot of concern about the amount of walking and the distance. We were told that every hotel from the Smoothie King Center is under 1 mile. And then from the convention center to the Smoothie King Center is also, direct is under 1 mile. I know it sounds like it's a lot of walking, and it is. You guys, I mean, no lie, you're gonna do a lot of walking. I don't want you to feel like it's overwhelming. Michael, is the next slide the little mappy map? There we go. So if you look convention center bullet, like this is kind of like the outer loop of everything. It's a little over 2 miles if you were to do the whole outer loop, but obviously you're not going to do that when you can cut across. So I don't want you to think that you guys are going to be, I mean, listen, you guys are going to be dragging anyway. We all know it's a busy week. It's a fun week. But it's hot and it's still going to be a lot of walking. So please, again, hydrate and really listen to your bodies. And the way they've done the schedule, there's going to be more than enough time to be able to go back to your hotel rooms and rest if you need. But I know that the heat in New Orleans in July can be oppressive. So just listen to your bodies, please. And everybody make sure you get your steps in. That's not going to be a problem. Okay. Interactive learning. So there's obviously going to be a map ahead of time. They're right now they're working on the Gathering app. It's going to be done, hopefully, they said the end of June. They do suggest that you look at that map and kind of get an idea of where you want to go first. I mean, it's a huge facility, right? So there's a lot going on. So, and as you can see, there's a certain schedule for the young adults. They're going to be in there on their own from a certain time frame because they're doing a different program than we are. They stay in a completely different hotel. We only run into them, come across them if you choose to have meals together or during mass gathering at night. But other than that, they've got their own program. So they've been designated their own time in the Interactive Learning Center. So when you have your program day, which we're all supposed to get that information later this week, of what your time frame is for on your actual program day. So that's why it's kind of good to look at the map and get an idea of like, hey, we want to check out this area. We want to check out, I mean, this gives you an idea of what you're looking at. Michael, do you have any idea where you're going to be yet or no?
I do not have any idea where I'm going to be.
Okay.
But if you don't know, me and 6 of our faithful young adults from our Synod will be hosting one of the sites in there. One of the interactive learning centers will be taking folks through an experience where they can learn how to tell their faith story, give them some opportunity to recall some moments in their life where they felt God's presence, whether it's a high or a low. And then they'll have a chance to either do the selfie station or take a video of themselves sharing that story, or journal, or some other artistic expression of it. So about like a 10-minute experience to come in, chat with some of our young adults. They'll help them process that. And on the back end of it, they'll take home some kind of a QR code or something to scan to get to a page where you can take those resources and use them back home with your congregation members. So that's my plug. Thank you.
So that'll be on everyone's schedule to stop by that booth.
Of course. Southeastern Synod hosting their own interactive learning center.
What? Okay. Any
I have a
questions about?
question.
Sorry, go.
Yes, two. I have two. You're showing me the map? Is there a map like layout of all the people that are going to have stuff out yet, or is that what's coming in the email this week
That'll be coming later. Actually, probably closer.
to the actual day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
And number two,
yes.
the day starts at 10 a.m. How long realistically do you think that it's going to like take a group? I mean, my girls are probably going to be in groups of 2 or 3, so it's like, how long do you think it'll actually realistically take them to get through the hall?
So hypothetically, if you're walking through and you want to see everything,
Mm-hmm.
the last time that we did it, it probably took us, I would say safely 2 hours, but you're not necessarily just going to go in once, right? You'll have an opportunity to go back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and let's be honest, there's going to be some booths that you're just going to walk right past, right? Like you're not going to need to, Michael's like, no, we're not.
You're coming to
Well,
my
except for
station,
Michael's booth.
everybody.
You're going to stay at Michael's booth for a long time. Like so long.
Some of you have been to the gathering before, so you could speak to it, but I would suggest kind of prioritize, a couple of places
Right.
you want to go to, and also be prepared to say, hey, if you have a group of like 8 or more, it's a good idea to probably say, hey, are there any experiences we want to do together? Otherwise, it's okay to split up in your safe pairs, whatever you're comfortable sending folks out. Because if you're contained in the building, I was always comfortable sending, groups of 3 or more together. But as long as you're in the center, don't leave the center, check-in times, things like that. Depends on your situation, what your policy and what your comfort level is. Because you're not going to have 8 people agree on going into each of the stations.
Right.
You're just not. So be prepared for that. And anyway, as long as you kind of think ahead, prioritize what you want, get to those things first. And, again, it's just really a lot of encouraging them and your adult leaders, especially, to be flexible. You may not get to the thing you really want to do. And that may be just, it's more about being present, being whichever place you're in, be fully there and enjoy it. And if you can get to the thing you want to, great. And if not, especially as an adult, if you don't get the thing you want to go to, so be it. You're there for them. But anyway, just some thoughts about that.
Thank you. Does that answer your question, Melina?
Yes, and now I forgot what I was going to say. Well, that sucks. It was a good question.
It'll come back to you.
It'll come
This
back.
is
to
a
me.
fun day as well. I've been to 2 gatherings here in New Orleans, and the interactive center, there's a lot going on. There's there's booze, there's games, there's they've had bouncy houses and trampolines and
Okay.
all that sort of stuff. So you can spend a long time. It's huge.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I remember my question now. Cause like back in my day when I went to Detroit, like they had, there was a mass amount of stuff in there, but there was also like opportunities to do like community outreach. So we were like making things, or there was a blood donation
Mhm.
center. I know that you said on the last one there wasn't that, but are they going to have opportunities like that in New Orleans where they can like stop and actually do something, or are they all just like people talking at you?
Are you talking in the interactive learning center, or
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I'm
Okay.
here.
Yeah, I mean, it's my understanding, but a lot of that is really more focused on during the accompaniment day. But if you're
Mhm.
talking about like stations to do like mini activities, yes, there will be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Woohoo! Nice gathering. Yeah, ignore that slide. Yeah, super dumb. Okay, so this is basically the different themes for the different days. Any questions? Okay. So for Tuesday night, it's mandatory check-in before the mass gathering. So because again, you can't enter without your wristbands. So it starts at 7 p.m. Tuesday night. The doors open at 5:30. If you're going to be late, there will be a place to store your luggage. And I think the next slide might talk about okay. We'll get back to it. The adult leader who goes in and makes sure everybody's registered so that you're not emptying your whole bus out and all the kids coming in at one time. So if you think you're going to be late Tuesday night, let me know, and then I can let the appropriate people know. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
The last couple of gatherings, they've done the registration at the hotels. Are they doing that again, or is it going to be, where is it going to be?
At the convention center. So if you get there early, obviously you go right to your hotel, check in, yada yada,
Mhm.
and then get over. I don't know what time you're arriving, John, and then you
I'm coming a day early,
Oh, okay, then you're fine.
but I didn't know where registration was. So,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Okay, community life. Okay. So for community life, this is where we have found that there's the biggest issue of there being a safety concern. So community life and hotel life. So obviously you guys can all read the slides, but so each space is going to have games, a quiet space, and a space to meet with and interact with your favorite speakers. So the convention center is going to have that open from 1:30 to 6:30 every day. And then the hotels at night, after the mass gathering, there's certain hotels that are going to have what's called hotel life, where the kids can go and hang out with each other. There has to be an adult present. I cannot stress that enough. There's been issues in the past where a group of kids have just gone to hotel life. Even if it's in their own hotel, there still has to be an adult from your group present. So those spaces will open Tuesday. So Michael, can you go to the next slide, please?
So will we be assigned a hotel for that? Or do you just
No.
go to one of those that's doing it?
Yeah, so basically there's going to be different zones where the hotels are. Like your hotel might be in zone 1, which is closest to the Hilton Riverside. But it's not mandatory that you go to that hotel. You could hotel hop one night to the next and the next, right? So basically this is where the 4 hotels are. So it's just super important that an adult is with a group of kids, because that's where we've had some issues in the past. And I get it. At the end of the night, we're all tired. We're all tired. But we still need to keep an eye on them, right? Okay. Any questions on that? Okay.
Will there be like, is each zone like a different, like, is one zone like a quiet space, is one zone an active space, or is like, does each zone have like all
Each
three?
zone has the same thing.
Okay.
They're breaking it down in zones so that if you want to stay close to your hotel because you don't necessarily want to
Okay.
walk,
Yeah, that's smart. Okay.
you know, 3/4 of a mile, that you know that that's the hotel you're closest to. But each hotel is going to offer the same things.
So like if you wanted to go hang with the cool kids from Trinity and Lilburn, you could go to their zone?
Yeah. You just have to check with
Okay.
John, the cool guy, to find out where his kids are. Okay, so yeah, right now we are slightly under 15,000 people, which is less than we had
How
hoped
about
for, but
how about the Southeastern Synod?
we are right around 200.
Mm.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, John, this should help answer your question about where you do check-in. These are the times that check-in will be open. Obviously, Tuesday is open all day. When you go in and you do check-in, you will receive your shirt, the lovely orange shirt that we get every year for accompaniment day. I cannot stress enough, do not lose your wristband. They're going to charge you the highest amount of registration, which is $500, if you lose your wristband, which would make me cry. So, and I'm sure it'll make you cry if your youth has to pay the $500. And again, everything is going to be clearly outlined, and everything will be on the Gathering app. It's going to be super user friendly. It's going to have all the information that you need. Plus, I'll be available. I'll be sending out my cell phone number to everybody. So if you have any questions, I just won't answer. I'm just kidding. Okay. Any questions on that? Ta-da! Ah, I'm gonna get there. We're gonna find out what morning we have, if it's morning or afternoon for worship. So let's see. Like John, in your case, for check-in, you would go in, you would be the primary leader that goes in. They're going to ask you for the release forms that they're going to be sending to everybody. You're going to hand those over. There's going to be a very brief presentation that you have to go through just for registration. And then they're going to hand you your shirts, your wristbands, and you're going to say thank you. And then you're going to go back out and hand them to all your kids. And again, if you are arriving late and you have to go right to check-in and you don't get to your hotel, there's going to be a massive, what they told us, a secure tent with security in it where you can leave your luggage. So.
Sorry, like, you said participant on the other slide, I'm sorry, participant release forms. They will email those out to us, or those are forms that we filled out when we were getting the kids ready to come to the gathering?
Oh, the participant release forms?
Uh-huh.
Yes, they're going to want a hard copy of those. So
Okay.
what we were told is that there was going to be new ones sent out, but if you
Gotcha.
don't get them, let me know.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of it too is if you added any or if you change your registration at all in terms of participants. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
They just want physical hard copies of all of those.
Of each person, right?
Mhm.
That's there with me.
Correct.
Okay.
They do not want your health insurance information, any of that you keep that on you.
So we can get that off the site, right?
Mm-hmm.
Off the gathering site?
Yep.
We can get
Mhm.
those off the site. Okay.
Okay, so obviously some of these deadlines have passed. May 15th, final details released. We're super excited about that situation. All of you, your mandatory training deadline is June 15th. I believe June 27th is going to be the final webinar with just last minute Q&A. Because we're all going to be so knowledgeable by then, we're not going to have any questions. Okay, so I know there's been a lot of confusion about it. They're asking for you to not reach out to your hotels, especially right now. The hotels don't know who we are. They don't have any of our names, any of it. They know that the gathering's coming to town. So if you call and you say that you're trying to obtain one of their mini fridges, they're not going to have your name. They're not going to have that information probably till the beginning of June. If you have a medical necessity in terms of needing a mini fridge, by all means, make that call closer to the beginning of June. If you just want a mini fridge because you want to keep your water cold, I'm going to ask you not to make that call. It's more for a medical necessity if you have medication that needs to be refrigerated. If not, a lot of the hotels we apparently have been asked to remove their mini fridges. So, and it's the first come first serve, and I don't know what the limit is. I don't know how many they have, so I don't want to give you false information. I do know that there's just been a lot of confusion, and it's causing confusion on the gatherings and too with phone calls to the hotels. So I'm going to ask you to refrain from that if you can. Thank you.
Question, Laura,
Yes.
about the housing. So
Sure.
on one of the webinars I was on, and maybe I didn't hear it correctly. They said that they can't guarantee that our kids' rooms would be near our rooms. Have you heard that?
Near the adult rooms?
Yes.
True. It depends on
Okay.
the hotel, and it depends on how many blocks of rooms you have. They try their best. They really do.
Okay.
But they could be spread
So-
out. Yeah.
So yeah, I have concern with that. Because I am taking care of other people's children, right?
Okay.
And if they're close by, you can quickly get to them if something happens or whatever, right? So
Right.
I just have a concern with that. So if you can express that to them, like they really need to make sure that can be done as much as possible, that we're close to our kids.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Do you know what
And
hotel?
if nobody else don't have any concern, just make sure my kids are close to me. I can't speak for anybody else, but I want my girls, especially in my I want my kids close to where I am, because I don't want to have to be in the room with them, but I want to be able to be near them, right? So if they're either next door or across the hall, I need one of those two. Even though I'm gonna put the tape across the door, I'm gonna tape it, but yeah.
Do you
So
know what
that-
hotel you're in?
I do. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
Don't stop on my.
Okay. Okay. So when you check in to the room, to your hotel, they're going to want a credit card like any other time that you check in, just for incidentals, for every room. You can use the same credit card. So if you've got a block of 5 rooms, just be prepared to present a credit card so they can have one on file in case somebody orders room service. Which, hopefully that won't be the case. I just didn't want you to be surprised when you arrive that you have to present a credit card. So hopefully everybody's okay with that. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have all gone onto your account in the portal, and you can, if you want to, if you don't want to stress over finding a place to eat or whatever, they're offering catered meals at the convention center. They're going to be $32 a person per meal. The menu changes daily, and again, it's in your congregational account. The only catch is it's got to be for your entire group, so it's all or nothing. So if you've got 10 people in your group, all 10 need to order a meal, and they have gluten-free and vegetarian options. I know it sounds pricey, $32, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility of what you would pay. Anyway, so you're welcome to go into your congregational accounts and just look at the menus to get an idea. I think it's June 1st is the deadline to order and pay for the meals. So again, they're all in your congregational accounts, which hopefully you all have access to. Because any questions there? And the meals, I think, start at 4:30, so you can get to the convention center and cop a squat and have a meal. Okay, now we're talking accompaniment. Oh, bummer. What happened to my slides? Anyway. Okay. So for accompaniment day, everybody meets at the convention center. Whether you're walking there, if you're taking a bus, you're also going to meet at the convention. Everybody meets at the convention center. You will get a text. Well, your primary leader will get a text the night before from the volunteer that is your servant companion that will tell you what time, where to meet, and what you're actually going to be participating in. There's different types of accompaniment day things that you can do that you can be involved in. If you've been asked to drive your bus, you'll know ahead of time. It won't be a surprise. So, Michael, can you go to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so this just briefly talks about the values of being of service in New Orleans. So, and the importance of accompaniment day. So one of the first things could be an action project, which is actually out doing work in a part of New Orleans. Whether you go into a neighborhood, you go to a library, like there's different areas that they can take you to do physical work. The last time when we went to Houston, we went to I think a pastor's or parish house and did a lot of work. So then there's advocacy projects, right? So there's going to be the 4 partners that you see on the screen or who we are paired up with. And you'll go to one of those places and do an advocacy project. What that looks like, I don't know. Not that they're being secretive, but I think they're trying to keep some of it to themselves just for excitement and, Okay, next one.
Participate, don't anticipate.
That was kind of nerdy, but okay. Awareness projects, which is super cool. You're literally going to go out, you can meet with local filmmakers, bands, and learn about the culture of New Orleans, which I'm super excited about this one. I think it's really neat. They talked about even going into possibly like restaurants and talking to chefs and just, there's such a deep history in New Orleans, right? So there's going to be an opportunity to learn about the culture. And that to me is really cool. So again, sorry.
Yeah, when we registered priority, we were able to select our like our first choice of which category? Will we find that out ahead of time, or we just find everything out the day before?
Well, when the final details come out later this week, that it should be in there. But in terms of maybe exactly where you're going, you won't find it. You know what I mean? So the type you'll know, but you won't know where you're going
Okay.
until the day before when you get a text. And please make sure that because it's going to go to the primary leader, that you reply to that text, because that servant companion is going to be waiting to hear from you. Make sure you eat breakfast. That's important before you get there. So then you'll get to the convention center, you'll meet with your servant companion, and then off you go. Whether you're on a bus, whether you're walking, you'll be gone for a few hours wearing that orange shirt.
Will we get the orange shirt during registration?
Yes.
Okay.
Along with
And
your
we're just required to wear it, like wake up, put it on kind of thing?
Oh, for accompaniment day, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go in the afternoon, well, we'll talk about that. But yes, they want you to wear your shirt on accompaniment day. Okay, so as you can see, you've got everybody's in the morning because they don't really want everybody out in the afternoon sweating to death, baking in the sun. So you wake up, have breakfast, do your accompaniment day. Everybody's back, done by 1. And at that point, you can eat lunch together. You basically have the rest of the day at that point to go off and do your things. Again, if you're driving your own bus, the gathering's already reached out to you. So if you're going to be transported on a bus, I think you go to the convention center first, and then there's a little bit of confusion about if you're going to be going over to the Smoothie King Center. What I was told is everybody meets at the convention center, but I will have all that information for you. For breakfast? Yeah, breakfast is kind of on your own, obviously, before you get there. And then lunch, I don't know, Pastor Michael and I have been talking through a couple of different things about whether we, either for Synod Day or accompaniment day, kind of meet as a Synod if we can somewhere and try to, at a park or something and enjoy lunch together. But you'd still have to provide your own lunch. In the past, the gathering has provided lunch on accompaniment day. They're not doing that this year.
Just a little quick, I guess this is a pro tip, but as far as meals, like I'm going to have a box from Amazon delivered of breakfast items to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
That way we don't have to go out and have breakfast. So, in my hotel, I talked to them already. They said they're fine doing that. So,
yeah, most of the hotels are fine with those kind of deliveries. Any other questions?
Yeah, I would just second that.
What type of breakfast items are you ordering from Amazon?
Granola bars, Pop-Tarts,
Okay.
protein bars, stuff like,
yep.
Yeah. And my room, I've already told my kids, my room's going to be the breakfast room. So, because I'm always the first one up in the morning. So, they can come and get their breakfast in my room.
Yeah, and depending on your setup, if you have you can have, if you have a cooler or if you have a fridge, you can, you'll know that when you get there. You can also get, some delivery while you're there if you want to, from like Uber Eats or something from Walmart. Now, a lot of people may be doing that, so just, temper your expectations, but especially if you're going early, I would get that stuff early. But breakfast is usually the easiest one that you can get away with that. It's harder to do that for lunches and dinners. You'll be out. So good way to save some money.
Yep. And this is just a small list of things to remember to bring, like sunscreen and water bottles, you know, common sense stuff. So so the hurricane relief kits, the Amazon link, so everything would be sent directly there if you order anything. I believe the last time I checked that everything has been kind of like what we were asked to bring, which was the small lanterns, battery powered lanterns. I think that they're already full. But I'm going to check again with Justin just to see if we can still order if we haven't, because I know there's some congregations that haven't ordered yet. So,
Well, I haven't ordered because I wasn't sure where to send it.
yeah, I guess so. The way they set it up is that there's already an address, so they know where to send it.
Oh,
Which wasn't really relayed to us right away. So,
okay.
but yeah, I'll find out if they've adjusted the numbers at all, because they were talking about trying to do something like 3,000 of them. So.
To add on to that, I had a youth parent that was able to purchase from Amazon and directly send it to the address that Lori's talking about. So super easy and very more efficient.
Cool. Any other questions on that? Okay. Formerly known as Synod Day is now Region Day. Our Region Day is Thursday. We don't know if it's in the morning or in the afternoon. We'll find that out. The reason why it's Region Day is because numbers were lower than expected. So instead of having just 200 of us in this massive, massive ballroom, now we've got our entire region. So there'll be like 1,300, 1,400 of us in this massive, massive ballroom, and we're going to fill it. And it's going to feel a lot better than, you know, feeling like we're in a big cavernous room. So we've gotten together and planned the worship service already. I'm going to be reaching out to Pastor Joe, who's filling in for Bishop Strickland while he's on his sabbatical. There's a certain role that she's going to play in service. All the bishops are playing a certain role, plus plenty of youth from every synod will also be involved in worship. So, and during communion, we're going to serve communion as a synod. So we're still trying to kind of honor Synod Day while also embracing Region Day. We're really excited. We've got some super cool stuff planned. So, like I said, we'll find out later in the week if it's morning or afternoon.
Has Synod Day shirts gone out? I haven't seen anything about that yet.
Okay, let me tell you something. I'm going to have the link by the end of the week. Old Lutheran is like, I got a gray hair, but anyway, it's fine. I have to send it to them in a certain file format. And it's going to be roughly $14. It's a very, very cool design, which I'm not going to tell you what it is because you need to be surprised. And when I send out the link, it's going to direct you to the Old Lutheran website. Our shirt's going to be on the website with some of the other Synod shirts. Our shirt's cooler, I'm just saying. And then you order directly from them, and then it gets sent to you so that you can distribute to your own youth, and it's not me trying to hunt everybody down at the gathering with 200 t-shirts. And you all know about Goose Chase, I hope. Yes? The scavenger hunt app that we're going to play on Synod Day. Just all download Goose Chase, my friends.
Yes, but are we doing that like as a synod? Because that's gonna be kind of crazy.
Listen, sister. Yeah. It'll be
Okay.
fun. I mean, we're not going to force you to play it, but it's fun.
No. Like force me, that's fine. But I just like that's like a lot of people chasing the goose.
I'm so glad that's recorded.
I know nothing about Goose Chase or an app, or I know nothing about it. So somebody enlighten me.
So it's a scavenger hunt app that you can design your own scavenger hunts. And that's what some of the gathering leadership has done for Synod Day. It's literally a community building tool. For those of us who went to the gathering, we tried it, and it's not supposed to be cutthroat, but apparently adults don't know how to adult with each other sometimes. And so it takes you through the city, different like parts of the French Quarter, and they asked you to take a picture of this, find it, and you get points for everything that you find. And it was a lot of fun. And number one, it makes you really pay attention to your surroundings because you're looking. So you're much more aware of some of the things that you're seeing. It was a lot of fun. And they were thinking about trying to design part of it for your trip down. But I don't know if they finalized that because so many people are traveling different ways. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So I don't know if you have an Apple or an Android, but if you just go look up Goose Chase and just download that, and it's fun. Okay. So this is just kind of some miscellaneous info. Like I said, they're currently developing the gap. Sir, thank you. There's going to be a 24-hour information line, which that's the number. That number is going to be on everyone's wristband. So at 2:00 in the morning, if you have a question, you could call. I don't know what your question would be at 2 a.m., but hey, who knows? If for transportation purposes, if you guys want to hop on the trolley, the streetcars, which are so much fun, there are student price tickets that you can purchase. They're super cheap anyway, but if you want to buy like a bulk of them, whatever, they're even more discounted. It's almost free. It's ridiculous. And the gathering is also coming up with a list of different tours that you can take that they're working on getting discounted rates. So if you buy some tickets, it's a reduced rate. So for some of your free time, if you guys want to do, I don't know, whatever tours are available, you've got the option to buy those tickets in bulk ahead of time if you'd like.
I got you a pen. That's great.
So there's
All right, Ethan, here's your courtesy. You are unmuted,
Oh,
just so you know.
thanks,
At least it's not sauce. That's for you, Jack.
One must do many things.
Sorry.
okay. So does anybody have any questions or concerns, anything that I've gone over? Okay. So obviously the May 1st one is
Can
gone.
Michael, can you go back, please? You're
Yeah.
clicking too fast. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's the Goose Chase app. You'll want to try to scan that. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, if you go onto the YouTube channel, they have the previous 2 logistic webinars, which I found to be incredibly helpful. Does anybody have any concerns or other questions?
I did put the hotel in the chat. It's 305B Intercontinental.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And will we get a copy of the PowerPoint that you put together,
We can send it out if you like. Sure.
please?
You got it.
And I think I missed it. What day is our accompaniment day? Is that
Thursday. Yeah.
No, I thought you said Thursday was our Synod or our Region Day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Accompaniment is
It's
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
So
then
then that-
Friday's interactive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns?
You said on the hurricane kits, the Region 9, thing was already fulfilled. So if we didn't order anything, should we still try and order more, or what do you suggest?
Well, yeah, if you could hold off, because like I said, I'll reach out to Justin tomorrow and find out if they want us to like order more, just put more kits together. They had a number, and
Mhm.
like I said, I think they said 3,000 was their goal. It's not like they won't be used, but let me find out from him, because yeah, I would love
Because
for
if
us
there,
to.
yeah, because if there's another item that's on the list that isn't close to that,
Right,
we could always do that too.
right. We could pivot and do something different. Absolutely. I'll find out.
Yeah. Okay.
You did a splendid job, Lori.
Why, thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate you.
I'm super
Um,
excited about this. I really am. I mean, I don't know if y'all have been to a gathering yet, but it's amazing.
It is amazing.
We are excited.
Yeah, it's a great experience, not just for the kids and young adults and youth, but for me, it just blew my mind. I was excited every day.
Yep. Awesome.
I got one question that you didn't bring up. The main music. So obviously, like, they've done like house band,
Mhm.
and they did that. And then normally there's like a really cool band that comes one of the nights.
Mhm.
Um, are we allowed to know that yet?
Are you asking me about the potential of Ren Collective? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just confirming.
That is what I have been told.
Because if you decide to change your mind and then they're not coming, I will be crying the entirety of the trip.
Well, you better
Mourning my
hydrate.
losses.
The last information that was shared with us is that Ren Collective will be there, but I will try to confirm that again. They're not
Okay.
necessarily wanting to put everything out there. I think they are surprise, trying to hold some things back to surprise us.
I'm glad they didn't surprise me with that. I genuinely would have had like a heart attack because
Yeah.
I love them so much. So, okay, good. Just wanted to, I didn't know if that was like a secret or if it wasn't. So I'm glad.
Well, it better not be a secret because I just told y'all. So.
Oh, okay.
Also, they just announced a house band on their Facebook. I can't remember when, but they just announced who's all in the house band. Just kind of cool.
Oh, I thought you were going to have names. I'm like,
Oh, I don't want to pull it up, but if you
Okay.
go, yeah, you can find it. And I think the slide also you skipped, Lori, had a Red Collective on it. So if you got a sneak peek real fast, you might have
yeah.
saw.
I mean, that, like I said, that's what we were told. So
Yeah.
But all right, everybody. Well, if you have any questions, hopefully you all have my email. And I will reach out to Justin and get answers to the questions that we have.
Gotta do my fun stuff at the end of the day, get some balloons going up in here for everybody. And some confetti. I hope you are excited. I hope you're getting ready. I hope the kids are getting ready. And if you need help with any of this stuff and like you don't know, if you're overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, you don't know what to tell the kids, you don't know what to put together for like you haven't told them anything yet and they don't know the gathering theme, just take it easy, find a date or two. Maybe it's a lock-in, maybe it's a dinner, maybe you go to somebody's house and just order some pizza and have some fun, or maybe maybe just have a project where you can make beignets. Oh my goodness. Whatever. Just have some fun with it. Go eat some shrimp and grits, or just grits for those who don't want it shrimp. Have some fun. Get a theme going. It doesn't have to be a huge production, but just enough to kind of whet the appetite and help them anticipate a little bit of what is to come. And I think you're gonna see that they'll adapt and they'll have some fun with it. So, and on the trip down, make sure you mark all the Buc-ee's that are on the way. If you're driving, but if you're flying, you have to bring your own. What is it, Bucky? What do they call them?
Clusters, the
Beaver nuggets.
the nuggets, the beaver nuggets. Those are yummy. But have some fun with it, enjoy it, and yeah, if you haven't thought about what it's like on the back end of it, start thinking about. And Lori mentioned it. What are you going to share with your congregation? Because that can kind of get lost in this too. So, and again, don't feel like you got to do it right away. Some people take a month or two before they try to do it. Maybe it's like in a August sort of a back to school kind of theme. I think John, I think you guys do that, right? You wait a couple months and you do that with like a special Sunday where you share stories.
Yeah, we're gonna do it at our rally day kickoff in August.
So yeah, it doesn't have to happen the next weekend. Plus, it's summer; people may not be as apt to attend worship. So if you want to do an in-person thing, make sure you give yourself some time and don't put too much pressure on yourself there. So, all right, can I close this out in a word of prayer here? We'll send y'all on your way. Let us pray. Gracious God, we give you thanks for the opportunity to be walking with one another in this way, in this youth gathering, as a synod, as a region, as a whole ELCA. May we continue to prepare diligently and see your spirit winding us down this windy road, leading us as we are called. Help us to know to see signs of your love and grace as we prepare, as we attend, and then as we recover from this wonderful, beautiful thing called the youth gathering. Be with us now this evening as we part ways. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Thanks, everybody.
Peace out, y'all.